Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Check That Post podcast. I'm your host, Jen, and this is my co-host,
Queen.
And we are happy to have you with us this evening. If this is your first time joining us, this podcast is about life, love, and relationships. Tonight's episode, we'll be talking about tips for couples who struggle with frequent arguments. Now, if you find yourself arguing with your significant other over and over and over every time you try to have a conversation, that's a problem. Let's get into it. But first, we're going to start off with our Dear Jen letter. Dear Jen, my husband and I love each other deeply, but lately it feels like all we do is argue. It starts over the smallest things: dirty dishes, forgotten errands, the tone of voice. But before we know it, we're in a full-blown fight. We never seem to resolve anything. We just go silent, wait for the tension to fade, and then pretend it never happened. But the same issues keep coming up, and I feel like there's resentment growing. I don't want us to keep living like this. I know we're both stressed. We got work, finances, and family obligations. But I also know that happy couples don't fight like this all the time. We both want to break the cycle, but we don't know how. When we try to talk things out, it just turns into another argument. How do we communicate without fighting? How do we resolve things without one of us shutting down or walking away? I miss the days when we laughed more than we bickered. Please help us. I'm tired of fighting. Well, since you and your husband both want to fix it, that's half the battle won. Mm-hmm. So we're going to help you out, or we're going to attempt to help you out. Now, here's how you can start to break the cycle. First of all, you want to pause during a conflict. Instead of automatically responding, as we tend to sometimes do, just stop, take a deep breath, let them get out whatever it is they got to say. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably like me. You don't want to wait because you got so much stuff that you want to respond to that you're thinking you might forget if you don't hurry up and get it out. That's me. I have that issue. And I'm working on it. I ain't perfect. I ain't trying to be. So sometimes if you just stop and you breathe, still listen and pay attention to what they're saying, which is hard to do when you upset, but try. And then once they start calming down or get everything off their chest, ask, can you respond? Now if he shuts you down and say, no, I don't want to hear it, that's a problem too. Since you listen to him, you gave him that respect, he should give you the same respect. Wouldn't you agree, Queen?
Yes, definitely.
So, when tension rises, take a breath before responding. Give yourself 20 seconds. Typically, it's 20 to 30 minutes. But who's going to do that? By then, you done forgot what you was fighting about. So, at least give yourself 5 minutes, I say. That might be good enough to cool down and reflect, and then gather your thoughts. This sometimes prevent you just automatic answer, like he say something, you say something. He say something, you say something. We don't want to do that because that gets you nowhere. Both y'all still be mad. Go in the other room, walk away. Don't leave the house per se unless it's that heated. You don't want it to get to that point. Because sometimes you leave the house, that just makes stuff escalate. And it's not solving anything. Right. Maybe go in the other room, take a breather, stop thinking about it, go get your cold glass of water, or put your head in the pillow and scream. That works. Don't get violent. We don't want you to do that.
Absolutely.
Sometimes putting that space in between y'all hip.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I don't know. I can think of many situations where I got heated in a conversation. I felt like I wasn't being heard. And I did what you probably do, respond, just out in the heat of the moment. But then I had to go back and apologize and calm down and let them speak and then say what it is that I needed to say for me to feel better. Usually once I say what I have to say, I'm done with it. I'm over it. I don't hold grudges. So if you tend to find yourself holding grudges, you might want to work on that. Once you get it out and say what it is that's on your heart and mind, let it go. Let it go. That's only if it's being resolved or you feel like you're being heard. Now, if you feel like you're not being heard and they just agree and just so you'll shut up, that's not going to work. So just keep working on it. But don't be loud with it. Don't be disrespectful. Don't hit below the belt because that's just make the situation worse. Now, I've been talking, so I'm going to let Queen give us. What do you think? What has been your experience with conflict?
Well, I think that, if you answer slow and, just think about, the day may have been a little rough.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times when we answer, it's coming from a different place.
Yeah.
And we don't mean to answer roughly or answer like we are annoyed, but it sometimes tends to jump out there. And if you have children around the home, sometimes the kids just yada 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 yada. Everybody's just yada yada yada. So it's just like your brain is just like your brain is just swelling because you got all this stuff coming at you, and then your spouse may ask you something and you kind of snappy with it. Not necessarily meaning that you mean to be snapping at him. It's just that all the stuff, and then the work of the day that you had to do, and so all this stuff, coming at you. So you really do need to, come in the house, sit still, and just get that breather, like Sis was saying. Just get by yourself for a minute, and it's always good to, you come home. If your spouse is there, greet your spouse, but you need to go and sit by yourself because you done rode in the car home or however you got home. And a lot of 1,000 thoughts done went through your head, and so you need just that time. Give me a minute. Let me be by myself a little bit, and then you come out the room and you're a little bit more calm down, and you're a little bit more nicer and loving, stuff like that. So yeah, but I have had my times where conversation came up and I didn't even give him time enough to finish it. I'm all over it, all over the place, and for the mere fact that I was even approached with something, like you're supposed to know better. You know that's not me, and instead of listening him out, I'm just giving him my opinion. I'm saying, just crazy. This all over the place. Where you get that from? Who told you that? Why you say that? You know me. Stuff like that there, and I should have been like listening to what he had to say, listening at the tone in which he had said it, because a lot of times when I jumped, it made him kind of jump too, and that was never his intention. It was just, to have a decent conversation about it, say what he gonna say, but a lot of times he didn't ever get to say what he was finished saying, what he wanted to say, because I done jumped. I'm all over the place, So it wasn't a good thing to do, but I did learn from that. Just hear the other person out. And I even found that out with my children. Let them say what they need to say, and that way they could get it all out. Because I've grown from the stage that they're at, and so since I've had my parents to not listen to me and jumping down my throat, so I learned that I need to allow my children that time, whether they are being honest or not, let them say what they need to say, so that when I do try to give them sound advice, they'll be more reluctant to listen to what I got to say.
God did. God did.
But yeah, it's kind of rough on both ends. It can be done, but communication is the key to a lot of stuff, and it's just like meeting a new friend, and you want that friend to think the best of you, and so you all nice and stuff to that new friend, and then that friend be like, oh, I met this girl, and then she just so nice, and at home she just evil. You know, she don't listen to
like
nothing.
Two different people.
Right? And you don't even know her, but you listen to everything she got to say. So let us treat our spouses and our children. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Listen to them out, hear what they got to say before we jump on, because that going back and saying I'm sorry, oh my God, that is just the hardest thing to do.
Yes, and like she said, communicate, don't accuse.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no need for you to be all evil at home. Then you go out in the street, you just as sweet as an angel.
Mm-hmm.
That's called two personalities. You do know that, right? We don't want to be doing that.
Exactly.
So instead of saying, well, you never listens to me, try something like, I feel unheard when we argue.
Right.
Sometimes he might can take that better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or say something like, well, I really want us to understand each other. And you got to remember, there's two of y'all in this fight. So if you want to work it out, learn how to better communicate. That way, neither one of y'all have your defenses up and already have an answer before it can come out the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Speak to myself. I tend to do that. So I'm owning mine, so you got to own yours. So pick the time and the places, because, honey, everywhere ain't a place for you to air out your differences.
Exactly.
Pick your time, pick your place, and also pick your battles.
Mm-hmm. Definitely pick your battles. Because sometimes, you can, my Lord, you can pick them battles that you ain't ready for.
Mm-hmm.
And, that significant other, your spouse or whoever, they eat you right on up, And if you ain't got no comeback, oh my goodness, that's just terrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely.
Good way. Mm-hmm. Good way to pick your battles or pick your time and your place. Set boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, mealtime is not a time to start a fight
Right.
or argument. Bedtime is definitely
Right.
not a time.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to pick it before work, because
Mm-hmm.
that person going to be away from you for however long you work, 8, 9, 10, 12 hours. You don't want that to be on their mind.
Right.
Because you got to think about,
Mm-hmm.
they leave, you don't know if they're going to make it back or not.
That's right.
So you don't want them to have that on their mind as they leaving, coming and going. Because what if they don't make it back? That'd be your last conversation.
Right.
That's not a good thing.
Mm-mm, that's terrible.
So pick your time and your place.
Mm-hmm.
Get to the root of the issue,
Yeah.
please.
And it's not hard to do. You're just settling down, and
Mm-hmm.
Everybody have a right to their own opinion, and you have a right to ask each other questions. To make sure that you're on the same page with stuff. I should have that right to say, well, hey, I didn't like what you said.
Or how you said
how
it.
you said it. I didn't like the way you rubbed me on my shoulder real hard, or you rub my feet too hard. I should have the right to be able to say stuff, and you're not getting offended.
Yeah.
So, but if you see yourself where you start to get offended by stuff that's just minute, you need to check yourself. Because you have to go all the way back to if you wasn't getting upset like that before, what happened? What changed?
Yeah.
That is causing you to become so upset now. And the older that we get, we tend to do stuff like that. Like, oh, well, I was young back then, so I could tolerate it. Okay, well, it was easier back then because some of us didn't hardly know each other. And now that you done have a chance to get to know each other, it's just like, but they know I don't like that. and them faces that I be making, well, you shouldn't have did it. No, just be like, no, let me show you how to do it. And it's okay to show them how to do it.
Yeah.
And at least, they will know. And most men, and women are like this too, that they want to make sure that they are not, trying to hurt you. And so let's just listen and think about, okay, I don't know what kind of day that guy had, or or the lady, you don't know what kind of day she had. And the home is my safe place.
Yes.
I don't want to argue in my home.
Yes.
I don't want anybody upsetting my peace in my home. Because that's the place where, like I said, my safe place. I'm relaxed there. I don't want anybody coming in bothering me. Leave me alone. I'm resting, So, and it feels good in my safe place. So let's keep the home a happy home.
Yeah. And if you find yourself arguing about dishes in the sink or clothes in a basket or somebody running an errand and taking too long, is it really worth an argument? Like, what's the underlying issue? What's really going on? Just sit down with that person, have that conversation. You ain't got to be fussing and arguing. Just maybe y'all pick a day out of the week and go over everything that's bothering you. Just keep that line of communication open. Because have the conversation. Like, it's easy peasy. Just sit down and have a conversation. You get a lot further than guessing and assuming.
Right. And do them clothes and dishes together.
Yeah, that part.
That could be very, very fun.
Oh yeah, that might help ease some of the tension.
Yes, it
Cook
will.
together. Eat
Definitely.
together. Put them phones away. Focus on each other.
Right.
That could be all it is. Rub her feet, or she rub his feet. Like, while y'all sit there and watch the news together, or TV, or whatever y'all do.
Yeah.
Do stuff more as a unit, as a couple, and focus on, leave the outside world outside. When you're in your home, be in your home, be present, in mind, body, and spirit. You'll get a lot further.
Right. Listen, don't be at home and you mad, but you at your girlfriend's house, talking about the situation.
Yeah.
In your mind, you there. Yeah, when I get a chance, I'm about to call her. He's sitting right there, but you already in your mind over at her house. At your mama's house. You somewhere. And I already had a conversation with somebody. So now, if you can have that conversation with in your mind with the people you normally talk to, you can do that same thing with your spouse.
Yeah. And you got to learn each other's triggers. If you know something is your significant other's trigger, don't poke the bear.
Right.
Don't do that, because that's solving nothing. That's really going to make the situation worse.
Absolutely.
It's going to make him want to be gone, and then it's going to make you want to be gone or want him gone. So don't poke the bear. Seek help if you need it. If you got to bring somebody, a therapist, somebody certified that can listen to both sides, play devil's advocate, ain't taking sides, listen to both of y'all, then do that.
Right.
If that's what it takes.
And there's nothing wrong with, but like, honey, okay, it's okay. Even if you don't understand all of what he's saying.
Yeah.
Just answer with a soft voice. I think there's a scripture somewhere. It says a soft answer turns away wrath. And so a soft answer can, definitely keep one from being started. So, you just go in with, okay, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna hear, we both are gonna hear what each other got to say. You doing the best you can, and he's doing the best he can. And like I say, you wanna have a happy home. So these are the things that you have to do to keep your home happy, and don't let the toxic stuff come in. Because once you open that door and start allowing the toxics to come in, then you got a whole pile of something that whole pile of mess that's there. That's you're gonna be unweaving, being saying, how did I get here? Yeah. Where did this come from? And it starts out with just the little things, And if you think he raising his voice or she raising her voice, grab her by the hand, grab her, hug her,
give her a kiss.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like if that's the only way to get her to be quiet, kiss her.
Right? Yeah.
And she gonna be like,
mm-hmm.
lose the train of thought. There you
right. Go. Exactly.
Fight fair.
Mm-hmm.
Grow together, and it's not about winning an argument. Mm-hmm. It's about winning together as a couple.
Together. Mm-hmm.
So don't try to be right all the time. It's okay to say, "Well, I'm wrong." He need to hear it, and she need to hear it. Mm-hmm. I apologize. I was wrong. If this is the way I seen it, I wasn't seeing it right. I assume. Admit it and move on. Don't hold on to that. You get a lot further.
Absolutely.
Hope those tips helped you. And if not, write us again, let us know, and we'll go in a little deeper. Moving on to the next agenda. Dear Jim, my boyfriend and I love each other, but lately it feels like we can't go a day without arguing. It's always big fights. It's the little things that build up. One minute we're fine, and the next we're snapping at each other over something as small as who left the lights on. The worst part, it feels like we're stuck in a cycle. We argue, get upset, go silent, and then pretend everything is fine. But deep down, I know these unresolved issues are piling up. I don't want to keep sweeping things under the rug, but I also don't want to keep fighting. I miss how easy things used to feel. How can we stop this pattern before it ruins what we have? Ask yourself, for one, is this fight or argument really about what I think it is? Sometimes, if you're upset about the socks on the floor or feel like you picking up the socks is not being noticed, that's something that's simple and small that can be handled. Quit picking it up. Let it sit there. If he put a sock on the floor, he get tired of looking at it, he'll pick it up. There's no need to argue about it. Mm-hmm. Simply solved. Right. If he step out of his PJs, leave him on the floor, walk over him. He'll pick it up. Mm-hmm. But if he don't pick it up, ask him, baby, can you pick your clothes up after yourself? You shouldn't have to tell a grown man to do that anyway. But if you find yourself having to have to say something, don't bother. Just pick it up. And you got to wash it anyway. Or if he washing it and he picking up after you, don't argue. Both of y'all living in the house. Mm-hmm. Both of y'all cleaned up after each other. Like, you're a couple.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. I just, stuff like that to me, it didn't bother me. Mm. I guess a lot of couples get together and they person already have bad habits. And so if you already have bad habits, why would you want to hook up with somebody that already have the same bad habits that you have? Yeah. Like if you wasn't picking up your own clothes at home before you got together, and then you go over to his place and he ain't doing it, and then now you get mad at him, but you ain't picking up yours, you know. And even if you were picking up your own clothes, it shouldn't be a problem with you picking up his clothes. So like she said, you know, they got to be washed anyway, you know. I don't know why people do that, but I know that sometimes that it comes up, whether you may get sick or something. And I'll say for the I guess for about 3 weeks now, I haven't had a lot of energy, and so when I come home, you know, I take my clothes off, but it was just harder for me to like keep my clothes picked up, you know, and that's totally not me. I'm just like, no, because I don't like clothes all over my bed, all over my floors and stuff. But all I just felt like just getting in the bed. So the next day or two, I may say, well, I need to put this up, or go ahead and toss it in the laundry bin so that I can get those washed. But I know it was because I wasn't feeling good. But normally when I am feeling good, no, you're not gonna see that kind of stuff, you know, on the floor. And at the time when I was married, I didn't have that problem either, because you know we both kept our clothes up off the floor, off the bed. When we washed clothes and dried them, they didn't go on the couch. I sat there and folded them. So it's about discipline.
Yeah, that too.
It's about discipline. It's like I didn't look for him to, oh well, you got to do the dishes, you got to put away this and that. No, well, you know, in a lot of those years, I wasn't working. So why am I nagging him about putting away stuff and I'm not working, and he done put the, you know, 8 hours in for the day. So, but I know a lot of things change, and the woman is out there and she's working and doing her own thing. But again, you may have to ask yourself, why do you have to be out there doing as many hours? You can maybe work part-time if he was able to carry the rest of the house. A lot of times we are out there that long is because of the things that we want, the extras that we want. Then we are out there. But because we chose to go out there, and mind you, I do realize you need 2 or more income. But you still got to put that thing to where, okay, it's got to be okay if he comes home and if his clothes is on the floor. Well, if you know he don't always do that, what's the problem? Pick them up and put them where they're supposed to go. Now, if there's something that he continues to do, then you might want to sit down with him and say, hey, you know, we both is working, you know, I'm tired. Sometimes then I need you to pick up your part, you know, pick up my part, or help me with the kids, you know, picking up theirs, keeping their stuff clean. So, you know, it's a lot of negotiation that you can do in that, but it shouldn't be about negotiation either, because you both are living in the house. And if you like cleanliness, then it doesn't matter who cleans the house. Just get it done.
Yeah. And don't nag him about taking out the trash.
Right.
If you see the trash need to be taken out, he at work, you get home before he do, take the trash out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, y'all.
It's just right outside the door.
Come on,
You
quit
know?
pick and fight.
Right.
Because it's basically what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, the trash need to be taken out.
He ain't
Somebody
doing that.
take the trash out.
He can take that trash out.
Ain't no such thing, y'all. I know you like that.
Yeah.
This ain't no gender role thing. Like, it needs to be done. Both y'all in the house. If you got kids, let your kids take the trash out.
Right.
Whatever. Dishes need to be washed.
Mm.
Everybody got dedicated stuff to do.
Right. Buy paper plates if you don't want to do that. Paper
Right.
cup. Use that stuff. But sis, what I realized is we came up in a different era.
Yes.
And so, you know, it's easy for us. So I know I
It
need to
makes
clear out
sense.
that. It's easy for us, you know. But these young people that came on the scene, a lot of them don't want to do anything. And they rely on, oh, well, you got to do this or you got to do that. And it's just so crazy because we were people that just, we're go-getters.
Yeah.
We make it happen. We're not gonna sit around and wait on him to come home. To do stuff like if that trash is stinking. Okay, it's got to go. It's not gonna hurt me to open up the door and take it to the trash can. So it's a lot of stuff that you guys don't want to do. I don't know where the heck y'all got that from.
This is South era.
But somebody didn't teach y'all something.
Yeah,
but y'all need some help. You really need some help.
Need to toughen up. What needs to be done for the household.
For the household,
Teach your kids, because I'm telling y'all, y'all not teaching these kids, these girls especially, all the boys, how to cook, how to clean after themselves, how to wash their bodies, brush their teeth.
Right.
Basic hygiene stuff. They out here in this world and get with somebody. Them people, they gonna clown them. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
So you best be teaching them now. Okay. Just a little input. So back to that Dear Jen letter. You know me, I get going. So, same thing we said. Take a few minutes, breathe, and then get on with it. Have that conversation, have that cool down moment if you need it. And just handle it. Don't make everything a conflict. Everything don't need to be said. What you thinking don't always need to be said. Because Lord knows that can lead to plenty of arguments. Keep it up there. He don't need to hear that. She don't need to hear it.
Don't argue about the bills either. Just
yes.
Get the money, pay the bills.
Yes.
You gotta have a place to stay.
You gotta have lights on.
Right.
Be responsible. Do your grown up stuff.
Right.
If you in a relationship or living in the same household, do whatever you need to do. Do whatever it takes. Y'all know. Don't tiptoe around issues. And your tone. Please watch your tone. When you call yourself apologizing or resolving conflict, you ain't got to be yelling at the top of your voice. You ain't got to be yelling at the top of your. Don't try to overtalk each other, because ain't now one of y'all listening. You got to have a way to do things. Let him talk first or you talk first. But both of y'all can't be rah, because you're not solving nothing.
Right.
So, if you find yourself just arguing about any little thing all the time, you're toxic. You don't need to be together. You can't resolve it. If you can't bring somebody from outside in that can play devil's advocate and got y'all best interests at heart, then maybe you need to split up. If you're calling the police because somebody putting their hands on you, you definitely need to split up.
Absolutely.
We don't need to be doing that. But don't be tiptoeing around each other, scared you're going to do something to upset the other person. That ain't no way to live.
No.
Can't go to sleep because you're all tense. Try your best not to argue before you go to bed.
Right. Don't let the sun go down.
Yes. You don't know if that person going to wake up or not.
Right.
So is
That's
it really
true.
that serious? Like, come on.
Yeah, be loving. Don't go to bed, your back turned to each other, because you're mad.
All right,
Don't
this
do
one going
that.
in that room, because I'm telling you, over here, what we do, he go in that room, I'm going in that room with him.
That's
We gonna work it out, okay?
That's
We
it.
ain't doing that. I don't need no roommate, okay?
Right. Come on now, that's good right there.
So we either gonna talk and have it out, or we gonna do the other thing and have it out.
That's it right
It's gonna
there.
get worked out.
Now that's healthy right there,
So try it.
No, you
Might
don't
work.
You don't want to sleep in the bed because you mad. You little mad. Oh, you big mad. Okay, well, yeah, that's right. You need to go in there with him.
One of y'all sleep at the top, one of y'all sleep at the bottom, but be in the same room.
In the same room. Yeah, that's it.
But I tell you one thing, you might want to try tickle their feet or play a game or something to get your mind out the situation. To like you're tired, you got to get up early in the morning, and you just been silent, haven't given each other silent treatment. try to work that thing out for you,
Yeah.
could be. Because you don't want to wake up with all that.
Right. Pray about it. Get him,
That too.
y'all together, and you just pray about that thing. Because
Yes.
you'd be surprised of the stuff that just drops down. And, and next thing you know, you just at each other, like, where'd that come from? But if you just like, hey, can we just pray together, just pray these spirits, out of our relationship,
Yes.
so you can have a great night's sleep, and you're asking God, to help the both of you, And I think that you can go to bed, feeling great. It may not change your situation all in one, but you can still, showing each other that you love them. You want to be, you still want to be with them, but you just having, a little issue there. But you still can show each other love and hold on to
Yes.
each other, Because, like, sis keeps saying, you don't know. Never know. I mean, there's so many things that have happened to us with our health and everything. We don't know if we're going to wake up. And so if something like that happens, now we all toe up. Like, I went to bed angry, mad for no reason, and I wish they were here to so that you could do it another way. Cherish the people that you love. Treat them right and treat them like you don't ever want them to leave.
Right.
Not saying that you're not gonna not have disagreements.
Of course.
But there's a way to have disagreements. So, and we ought to be quick to forgive, no matter what it is. Not saying you're not gonna that you're gonna forget about it, but we need to be quick to forgive. Even the Bible, teaches us about that. Let's be quick on it.
Yeah. Try not to talk at each other, but talk to each other.
Right.
That helps a lot. Or bringing up past issues. Just focus on the present. Focus
Right.
on whatever the issue is.
Absolutely.
It'll get resolved
Mm-hmm.
much more quicker.
Yeah. Leave the past in the past. And that helps out so
And
much.
listen
Yeah,
with the goal to
listen.
understand, not to reply.
Right. Absolutely.
No, it's hard when you're upset, but
Yes.
practice it.
And keep your hands down. Hold yourself. You got to hold yourself before you start swinging,
Yeah.
pushing.
You know what that means.
Slap it upside the head. Yeah, keep them hands to yourself. Say, go. Matter of fact, if you ain't, if you are scared of yourself a little bit, that you don't trust yourself, go in there and tie your hands up. Tie your own hands up. Say, what you got them hands? God, this is for me. To keep me safe. Keep me at a safe spot. I'm gonna tie my own hands up.
And if you got to be putting your hands on them, you definitely don't need to be with that person.
Exactly.
So you might want to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a short, sweet episode. Just want to get into a little bit of that. We hope we said something that can help you in your situation. And if you need a little bit more input, just write another Dear Jen and we'll go into it a little deeper,
Absolutely.
like we did with the first. With that, you can follow us on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Check That Post Podcast. Like and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know every time we go live or upload a new episode. You can write a Dear Jen letter to checkthatpostpod@gmail.com or text 866-311-2251. Also, you can get a deck of our We Listen and We Don't Judge card game at www.conversewithcards.com. This goes a long way for us communication as well. It's conversation starter or icebreaker. If you're dating someone, you don't know what to say to them, or if you want to know a little bit more about your significant other. Maybe it's conversations that y'all haven't had. Also, if you're in the middle of a silent treatment, pull the cards out. You'll be surprised how she'll open up and discuss some of the stuff that's on these cards. And with that, we hope you enjoy it.
Yours truly, Gentleman Nelson. Yo, it's a family affair.
Okay, there again.